Recently, I'd watched a movie that genuinely managed to catch me by surprise. When you see the poster and the trailer, you think that it's going to be a sports drama about table tennis. Maybe more intense, but an underdog story, right? Marty Supreme is very good at pretending to be that kind of movie. The best way I can describe it is like a train ride. It starts normally enough for the first few minutes, then suddenly the brakes are cut. The speed keeps climbing, faster and faster until you start to panic. And by the time the movie finally slows down in the last act, the panic is still there. And because of that ride, this ended up becoming one of my favorite films. The movie is set in 1950s New York, following the story of Marty Mouser, a shoe salesman and elite table tennis player who believes, with absolute certainty, that the world owes him greatness. And if it won't give it to him fairly, he'll take it. We know where this is going, right? No, not even close. Because this movie is not about table tennis. This movie is about the grind, and what it does to you when you let it consume you. Today, we're analyzing Marty Supreme and why it works as a cautionary tale about the mindset that tells you winning matters more than everything else. Let's unpack this. Marty is ambitious. He knows that he's good, and he believes he's going to make it to the top. The problem is that Marty doesn't believe in limits. Ethical, emotional, practical, doesn't matter to him. He is the definition of a hustler. The ends justify the means to get there. I think that in some way, most people can relate to this. Inflation has made it harder for people to live these days, and the dream of financial independence is tempting. Whether you are an office worker, in retail, or even a YouTuber, you are working towards the dream of having it all. But Marty himself is consumed by his hype and his dream, and it is because of this determination that kicks off the wild ride that is this movie. When his uncle refuses to fund his London trip, Marty doesn't adapt or wait. He decides to rob the shoe store at gunpoint, because he believes that he is meant to be the very best. He can't be stopped by something like this. I feel this moment is important because it establishes the core lie of hustle culture that the film keeps returning to. If your goal is important enough, anything you do to achieve it becomes justified. From that point forward, Marty treats people as a resource to get to what he wants, no matter what the cost. Once Marty gets to London, he successfully beats everyone in his way until he reaches the final match. His opponent is the Japanese player Koto Endo, who proceeds to absolutely crush Marty. Losing the final match devastates him, not because he played poorly, but it disrupts the story, the one he's telling himself that he is meant to win. Most people in this situation would accept their loss and understand that sometimes you just take that L. But Marty is not most people. He flips out and complains that his opponent had an unfair advantage due to his paddle. It affects the narrative that he set for himself, and he's forced to live with this result. After this, Marty tries for the rest of the movie to get his rematch and prove himself superior to Endo. As the film progresses, Marty's hustle turns predatory. He begins to use every method possible to get the money to get to Worlds. He manipulates an actress emotionally and financially, cons business partners, hustles bowlers, lies to international sports authorities, and repeatedly assumes he can outsmart everyone. Every shortcut Marty takes costs him something, but he refuses to see that cost. Hustle culture teaches him to treat consequences as obstacles, not signals. Even when violence erupts, when all hell breaks loose and people start dying, Marty keeps moving, because stopping would mean questioning the premise that all the suffering is worth it. Marty isn't the kind of person who would stop because his hype is telling him that it is worth it, that he is capable of beating Endo, and that he will have his day. So Marty is the classic example of a narcissist, which fuels his actions. He is always going to pick himself no matter what, to the detriment of everyone else. While a majority of the film's events can be traced back to this, it is not helped by his chase of the hustle. It provides the determination he uses to walk his path, and this creates the conflict in the movie, along with his deep-seated pride. By the time Marty reaches Japan, the train ride begins to slow, and we feel the dread set in as he's given a brutal wake-up call. He's too late for the championship. The fine doesn't matter anymore because he missed his window to enter. The system doesn't care how badly he wants it. So his entire journey is seemingly all for nothing. All he can do is play endo for the money from Rockwell and go home. Marty complies, at least at first, until it hits him. This is his last shot to prove himself. When he finally demands a real match, it's the first moment in the film where Marty isn't hustling. He's just playing as a table tennis player, and he wins by the skin of his teeth. He finally got the run back that he wanted, but at the cost of everything and everyone close to him. Because of his dedication to the hustle, he has no one who cares for him, except for the mother of his child and his newborn son. We don't see what happens after seeing him hold his son. Marty Supreme isn't a story about ambition gone wrong. It's a story about ambition left unchecked. The film understands something that hustle culture refuses to admit. Winning means nothing if you're alone. In that sense, Marty Supreme is less about table tennis and more about a mindset, one that tells us to monetize ourselves, sacrifice relationships, and justify harm in the name of the grind. We are all trying to do our best to survive, and even if we're not like Marty, we share his struggle. We work ourselves ragged when we're young, hoping that we can enjoy the fruits of our labor when we get older. But there is no guarantee that we will be rewarded. The ends do not always justify the means, especially if the means involve pain to others. If you made it this far, I want to let you know that you are enough, and you should not strain yourself for the grind, even if it sounds enticing. Thank you for watching. I know it's been a while since my last video, but I appreciate you stopping by to listen. If this resonated with you, let me know in the comments. I'll see you next time.